Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Hybrid Network and another DC Extended Universe topic video. As I'm sure all of you know, the Suicide Squad movie is set to arrive in theaters pretty soon, and with it, our newest live-action interpretation of the Joker, who's been absent from movie theaters for about 8 years now. Being that the character is one of the most popular villains, whether it be within the comic book fandom or extending outside of it into mainstream perception, expectations are at their high points. So, in light of the circumstances, I thought it would be fitting to take a look at the live-action clown princes of crime that came before this new take, and sort of highlight what makes them work within their own context, and what they add to the character of the Joker himself. The thing to take into consideration with the Joker is his wide array of portrayals, due in large part to the publication lifespan of the character that has stretched over 75 years. Within that lifespan, the Joker has taken on numerous different personalities and MOs, and as such, there's never a truly right way of adapting the character. With that said, why don't we jump into the cast of actors with Cesar Romero. Back in 1966, the serialized Batman television series brought us our first live-action portrayal of the character, played by Cesar Romero, and it introduced us to a very colorful interpretation of everyone's favorite perma-smile clown. Based in large part on the Batman comics being printed at the time, this being roughly the Silver Age of comics, the Joker is seen here more as a prankster figure, utilizing a variety of practical joke gimmicks and gadgets to perform his capers, much like in the comics at the time. It's played beautifully by Romero, though, who gives Joker an over-the-top and flamboyant personality to give off the air of lunacy as well. In many ways, it's almost like a live-action Looney Tunes character, as Romero kinda giggles and howls with laughter as he's almost literally bouncing all over the room in every scene he's in. It just feels so fun to watch, and it really makes the audience want to come back just to see Joker's next ridiculous caper. Crime is like a deck of cards, and in Gotham City, there's always a Joker. Years later, as a matter of fact 23, Tim Burton brought his own vision of the Caped Crusader to the big screen with Batman, and we were once again reintroduced to the Clown Prince of Crime with Jack Nicholson taking on the role. A lot had changed since 1966, and the Batman mythos had evolved past the goofy antics of the Silver Age. One character that needed a definite reevaluation was the Joker, who needed to be presented in a light that was a little more threatening than the man that used to rob banks with itching powder. However, you just couldn't have the Joker if there wasn't a certain flair for the dramatic, and Nicholson certainly understood this. The 1989 movie had a Joker that was intended to create a familiar resonance with the 1966 Romero version, for those that knew the character best from there, while it also added a sinister streak that allowed him to be taken seriously and pose a frightening threat for the now much darker Batman. The Joker's grin wasn't paint and lipstick anymore, but it was the cause of a freak accident that left his face contorted into a permanent smile. His gadgets were still based around practical jokes and clowns, but this time they were deadly, and they were almost always used with the intent to kill. The jokes weren't necessarily made to get a crowd laughing, but they were in fact tasteless and cruel, leaving the Joker the only one laughing at the punchline. It was the evolution from the harmless prankster to the nihilistic clown that truly made Nicholson's Joker memorable, as it seemed like the complete package at the time of its release. Heath Ledger. Of course, the one that probably still resonates with so many people today is Heath Ledger's Oscar-winning performance in The Dark Knight from 2008. With Christopher Nolan taking over the Batman franchise, there was a mantra to create a more realistic worldview for the Dark Knight and his rogues gallery, and the Joker had received the ultimate treatment in this regard. Usually seen as a hooting and wildly over-the-top villain, Heath Ledger approached the character from a much more subtle angle. The Joker seen here isn't so much a theatrical supervillain as he was a psychopathic anarchist, embracing chaos for chaos' sake without an ulterior motive being present, at least none that we the audience could see. A lot of his actions were seen to simply be the result of him goading and taunting the larger, structured world of Gotham City, and directly opposing the order that the Batman represented to the city of Gotham. That's not to say that he completely departs himself from the Joker of the comics. A huge complaint I hear from a lot of people seems to be that the Joker in The Dark Knight isn't a true or even right interpretation of the character. And quite honestly, I've always seen it as being a marvelous interpretation, because it seems to hit all the notes that make modern Joker who he is. There's a singular plan that the Joker lays out that really only makes sense to himself. There's a development of the deep-seated obsession with Batman present in the more modern books, the disregard for the safety of himself and those around him, and ultimately the nihilistic purpose of the Joker as a whole, being that our whole life and how we structure ourselves in society being one big joke. It was a much more menacing interpretation, but that's sort of what you get when you take a dramatic and non-empathetic clown and place it in our world. With so many varied interpretations over the years, there's no telling just what we'll get in store when Suicide Squad hits theaters in a few weeks. Leto's take on the character has been under quite a bit of scrutiny since he was officially shown off so long ago, and I'm under that camp as well, I'm not afraid to admit, but we need to consider the various ways that the Joker can and has been approached over the years. There can't really be a single right way to see the Joker because the Joker literally comes in a variety of styles. Some might be more respected than others, but they all can have their own place within our minds. Well, except for one in particular, which I think many can agree is the best version we've gotten yet. But those are just my thoughts and opinions. What do you guys think? Who do you consider to be the best Joker, or why do you think that these Jokers are all so great? Do you agree or disagree with this list, and are you excited for Jared Leto's take on the character in a few weeks? Let me know down in the comments below. If you guys like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, it really helps out our channel. If you'd like to see more of our original content, podcasts, reviews, audio commentaries, and more, go ahead and hit the subscribe button for more content as it comes out. If you want to help us out, you can go ahead and donate to our Patreon page if you feel so inclined. Thanks for listening, guys, and we'll see you next time on the next DC Extended Universe topic video.